cannot wait to just ask her so many questions. Eleanor. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to be asking Eleanor a bunch of questions, and then after all of those questions, I'm going to have a Q&A portion where you all get to ask her questions as well. Hey, Doug Beanie! TikTok Pirate King. Hey, yes. Hey!
We did it!
We did it. Yes. Oh, thank you so much for doing this. I'm so excited to interview you.
Thank you so much, Travis. I'm happy to be here. Hi, everybody.
Yes. Hey. So, you've done a lot of stuff, so I have a lot of questions, but we're going to first start with what is one of your favorite anime?
One of my favorites, just in general. Whoa.
Just in general.
Let's
I know.
Bam, bam. Let's just get right to it. Okay, so one of my ultimate favorite animes of all time is actually an anime called Yuri on Ice. It's literally one season.
Nice. Yes.
There's supposed to be a movie coming out. And the reason why I love it is because I'm a dancer. There's so much dancing and movement and music in this one season. It's literally 12 episodes. And the character development, the comedy, the drama. So for me, Yuri on Ice is actually one of my favorite all-time animes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Does it have your favorite character, or is your favorite character in anime in a different anime?
My favorite character is probably in a different anime. I haven't thought about that one, but yeah, Yuri on Ice in general is just one of my favorites because, first of all, if anyone in the comments knows, that opener hits different. I love the opener for this anime. It's literally just like called History Makers, and every time I hear it, you hear like, look at this, I'm smiling cheek to cheek. It just makes me so happy. Yeah,
oh my god. No, I'm sorry, say that last part again.
No, I love that show. And it's more of a recent kind of watch for me, but it's slowly becoming my favorite. That has like great rewatch value because you find out a plot twist at the end of the the penultimate episode. So when you rewatch it, you can see it through a different lens, which I always think is fun.
Very nice. Did that anime affect your in real life perspective, or has there been an anime in general that has affected how you perceive the world?
There's actually a few that kind of play into this idea of being able to see the world in a different way. For me, that's actually Death Note and
Nice.
Full Metal Alchemist. And these two shows, I think, talk, and a lot of anime generally talks about very heavy, important subjects. And I think a lot of misconception about anime that it's for kids, but a lot of the themes that are touched upon anime really does affect much older people. And I think Death Note and Full Metal Alchemist talk about kind of like good and evil in a way that I have now perceived the world in a very different way. I think I was very naive in thinking that there are good people and bad people, and that's it. Like, you're a hero or a villain, and that's it. And like, if you're a bad person, you're a villain, and that's bad. And if you're good, you're always good. But there's a lot of shows that make you reevaluate what is good, what is evil, what are good people doing that are actually potentially harmful for themselves or for others, and how villains are often have their own drive, have their own passions. And it's kind of this like idea of the greater world and power structures and who's in the authority, who's creating these rules and stereotypes. So for me, those two shows definitely have kind of made me look at life in a different way. But I think every show that has those kind of heavier topics definitely does that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Do you have a favorite anime villain?
Favorite anime villain? Ooh, let's see. Oh, hold on.
I love the genuine excitement. Yes.
So let's see. I love. Who do I love? I'm trying to think of shows that I'm watching recently, but also shows that like, and I don't know if anyone out there or if you, Travis, feel this way too. It's like I have so much data in my head from all of these different shows that somehow they start to like blend, or then I start forgetting and I'm like, what's this person's name? Like I literally have those moments all the time where I go like, I know I watched the show. I definitely watched it. What happened? Like what happened in the show? I swear I watched it. I think that Stain from My Hero Academia is a really interesting villain archetype because what he stands for is not necessarily what the villains stand for. I love complex villains. I like villains that aren't just like, I'm just going to kill everybody, bye. I like them having their own personal goals and also recognizing like some other villains are like, you ain't it, sis. Like, I'm not about that. I'm not just trying to do this. Like, I want good heroes out here. You know what I mean? So I love that. I like Greed. I like villains that have like a comedy aspect to them as well. Like I love Greed from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm a very animated, humorous person. So I connect with characters that have that element as well, even if they're on an evil villain side. I go like, I see you.
Yo, I loved Greed too. He just had so much charisma too.
Yes.
Yeah, like he completely won me over.
Yes.
Is there an anime villain that you liked more than the hero?
Let's see. Okay, so this is a very, very, very recent watch, as in like of last night. Recent. Okay, as of last night, I have been watching all of the Studio Ghibli movies.
Nice.
I watched a few of them when I was younger, but like I said, my brain ain't it, and so sometimes like I couldn't remember. Like I remember watching My Neighbor Totoro, and then like when I was watching it, I was like, I don't remember this part. Like I don't remember this part. But I had just finished Princess Mononoke yesterday, and that movie, if anyone has or has not watched it, it has like a beautiful telling of the same thing I'm saying of like good and evil, where you have two characters on screen where you're going like, which one's the good guy? Like I can't figure out if Lady Eboshi or if San, aka Princess Mononoke, is the hero or the villain. So you as a viewer are kind of going like, I guess I side with her, but like she's also trying to kill her, but she's also trying to destroy this, but like, so it's a beautiful representation of kind of like what the world is, which is there is like depending on your perspective, there is no good or bad side. It's just whatever side you're on. So for me, that was interesting because it's like the movie's called Princess Mononoke, so you feel like you need to side with that character, but when you start actually looking at what their actions are, you go, but wait, that's not helpful in like the broader scheme of like trying to murder someone, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's like a very recent version of a villain that I sided with more than the hero, because there was no definite clear hero and villain.
I love that. I need to see Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, okay, but warning. Like,
okay.
I've been watching all of the other movies, Howl's Moving Castle, Ponyo, and this one was at the most graphic in terms of violence. Really? I was not expecting it because Ponyo was like fishes, and like Howl's Moving Castle was like this beautiful man, and you're like, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden, someone's head's getting chopped off, and you're like, oh, so that's where we're at. Got you. I got you. All right.
I definitely need to see it more now.
Check it out.
Definitely. Is there an anime character that you connect with the most? That you feel like when you saw them on screen, they were the closest representation of who you were? Let's
see. So this is an interesting topic that I don't want to get like too dark too fast. But
you just
as a female woman of color, it is very difficult to kind of have any sort of connection visually with characters on screen. There is not a lot of representation, and if there is, sometimes it's skewed more towards a like problematic representation of these people. So visually, there's not a lot of representation, but in terms of like personality and how they are on screen, I hate to say it, and people can come for me if they want to, but I am Aoyama from My Hero Academia, because I am just really out here, always just like looking at the camera, always doing the most. Like, I am loud and it's fine. I get it. It's doing the most, but I am totally fine with being like the show-stopping, loud, like fabulous version of myself. I definitely am that. And that's, if anyone watches My Hero Academia, Aoyama is the one that has the laser beam belly. That's blonde and amazing. I kin a lot of like very bubbly, loud, semi-narcissistic people, like like Tamaki from Ouran High School Host Club, who is like just super over dramatic. That's me.
When did you start getting into anime? What anime even got you into anime to begin with?
Oh my, that's so funny you ask that. That is so interesting. I don't know what show it would be. Did I write this on purpose? Maybe. I started watching anime when I was very young. I'm an old lady, but Sailor Moon was my first anime that I watched, and at the time, I didn't know that this was a different genre. At the time, I was like, oh, I'm just watching cartoons, and I think she's cool, and Tuxedo Mask looks awesome, and like I like Sailor Mercury because she has short hair and she's smart. Like, I was just invested in the characters, but that was my first anime that I watched. But for me, it was just like come home from school and then watch it on TV, the dub version of it.
Wow. Rewatching, have you rewatched it since?
So I haven't, and I don't, and here's the thing, it's like part of me has like this nostalgia from my childhood that like I'm nervous to break by rewatching it, because I watched the dub, and I watch a lot of anime now subbed. So I watch a lot of anime with the Japanese vocals. And so I'm kind of nervous to rewatch it in the English dub. I don't know if it's going to bring back like, wow, this was amazing, or if it's going to bring back like, what was I watching? And I know there's a reboot of it as well. And I've seen and read a lot of things about like, is the reboot better? Is it worse? Like, if you watched it, you know, when you were younger, is this helpful? So part of me is like nervous to reindulge in that world. So I'm like semi living in a fantasy of like young baby Eleanor who's just obsessed with the show. But I feel like I would love to rewatch it just to be like, what was influencing me when I was a kid?
I would love to see your reaction to it, because when I rewatched Shaman King, my childhood was broken.
No!
So, broken.
Why?
Couldn't believe the dub was just, and that was one of my favorite shows. The dub was just unbearable. No! And there was no, like, the story was so broken. There's just one moment that everyone is this particular way, and then it just changes on a dime, and there's huge spirit creatures, and you're like, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, it's insane. So I'd love to see your reaction.
Oh no. I'm going to do a full series of rewatching it and giving my honest opinion, and I'm going to tag you in it. That's going to be my next one. I will rewatch it.
Speaking of anime in the past and how anime has affected us, what anime scene has moved you the most?
Ooh, okay. I'm going to go with another recent watch just because it's a little bit fresher in my mind. There is a series on Netflix currently called Violet Evergarden, and it is one of the most beautifully animated animes that I've watched in a long time. And I actually watched that one dubbed as well, which is interesting for me because I watch subbed usually. And there's a scene where you're watching this character who has very cut off emotions, recognizing and realizing for the first time the words "I love you" in real time. And it was one of the most beautiful like recognition scenes, because you're following with this character who for many different reasons has much trauma in her life and has now become almost robotic. She literally has like a robot hand, so like it kind of, your brain goes, she's a robot, but she's human. And the person that she cares about the most as he's dying is saying like, "And I love you," but she doesn't know what those words mean. So she has basically spends the rest of the series trying to figure out what the words "I love you" mean. And at the end of this series, after multiple experiences she has had with different people and like watching them learn about words and learn about different family members that they've loved and lost, she then finally realizes like, he loved me. And it like, you can see and feel the like brain and heart explosion on screen. And I'm a very emotional goyle. I will tell you that. I'm very emotional. I was like, "Oh, girl, oh my God." I lost my ish for real.
That is so beautiful.
It was beautiful.
What was the, so that scene made you emotional. What was the first, do you remember the first anime scene that made you cry?
Yes. Okay. Here we go. I also very young. And at this time, I'm just watching cartoons in my mind. I don't recognize them as anime until later in my life. But there's this really obscure show that not a lot of people know, but it was on Adult Swim when I was a child. And now I rewatched it. This is one of those shows where I rewatched and I was like, what's going on? But it's 6 episodes long. It's called FLCL, Fully Cooley. Cooley. What a weird show. What an amazing weird show. And I've read so much about like the creation of the show and how it's not really supposed to mean anything, but it's supposed to change depending on like who watches it and when they watch it and how they associate with the characters. But there's another, apparently I Love You really just gets me, because when I was like super young, I remember like staying up at midnight watching this on my very tiny TV screen. And this kid turns into this amazing, like galactic character that can like swipe through the air, and he swipes, and then he comes up to this girl that he likes, changes back into himself, says "I love you," kisses her, everything explodes. And I remember feeling that same emotion that I felt with Violet Evergarden then at like, I think I was 10 or 11. And I was like, oh my God, he's recognizing this. And because he's like going through puberty and stuff. So yeah, apparently I Love You really just does it for me. If someone says "I love you," I'm like, oh, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that emotion.
Oh my God, that's amazing. You know, no one really talks about Fully Cooley anymore.
Nobody.
So yeah, so it's amazing that you even not only brought it up, but it had such an impact on you at that young of an age.
I am also like an avid anime music listener. And if anyone wants to just get some amazing rock music, The Pillows wrote basically the entire score for Fully Cooley, and I have multiple of their albums just like in rotation with my music. One of them is called "I Think I Can," which is what was playing during that scene. And every time I hear that song when I'm listening on the subway or whatever, and that song goes, "I think I can, I think I can," I just start getting super excited. But yes, The Pillows are amazing if anyone wants to listen to them. But yes.
Is that your favorite anime song, or do you have a favorite song that was an anime?
My favorite anime song is from, and this is another show that I watched, I think I was in high school, so I was super young, so it was a long time ago. I haven't rewatched it yet. Actually, no, I rewatched the first episode. I was rewatching all of my favorite things during my birthday week, so I rewatched the first episode of Hitman Reborn. If anyone knows about that. Okay, I'm showing my age, But the opening song for that is called Drawing Days by Flcl. And it's just like amazing rock, big music, great vocals. It's very good. Yes, that's either that or Splash Free, which is actually the ending song for Free Iwatobi Swim Club. It says they have this like amazing, of course there's like a dance at the end. It's like da 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 da, say
I know.
You know what I'm talking about? That one makes me happy too. So
nice. Oh, so what is your personal big three for anime?
right. Okay, so this was very difficult. And I am very happy to say my personal three now, and I'm very happy to like think that maybe this will change in the future. Currently, my big three, and this is all personal opinion, is Haikyuu, Attack on Titan, and we've already talked about it, Yuri on Ice. These are all a little bit different. These are all like in my top three for very specific reasons. Haikyuu is a sports anime. I love volleyball. I'm a choreographer just in general, by the way, for anyone that's like, wait a minute, what? I'm a choreographer in New York City, and I did a volleyball show. So I had to like learn all about volleyball, and I learned about being a setter and like spiking and all of this and all the positions, because I had to learn how to choreograph all the different moves. So that happened a long time ago. So when I found out there was an anime about volleyball, I was like, oh, this sounds cool. Haikyuu has an amazing rewatchability. The characters are so diverse and fun. I love sports anime, so it's one of my favorite sports anime, so that's why it's in the top three. Attack on Titan is such a complex, multi-level, world-building story, and I've actually watched it. It's one of the few shows that I've watched with my friends. I watch anime typically by myself, but Attack on Titan, I think, is one of the shows that's kind of like bridged non-anime viewers and anime viewers together. And so pre-pandemic time, we would get all together every Sunday and watch the new episodes, and we would just scream and be like, Levi, yes, go, woo, peace Titan. So it was like watching a football game, but it was anime. So that was always super fun. And then Yuri on Ice, I'd already mentioned. It just kind of combines my love of music and dance and like coming of age and coming over and triumphing over like failure and finding success. So those are my big three.
First of all, you choreographed a dance around volleyball.
A whole show.
What was the name of the show?
The show was called Volley Girls. It was in New York City. There's like multiple different like festivals you can apply to in terms of like creating new shows. So these authors created the show called Volley Girls, and myself and this other choreographer named Ryan Kasperzak were hired to choreograph the show. But we couldn't use balls, which sounds inappropriate, but we couldn't use volleyballs because we only had a cast big enough for one team. So what we did was we made the team face the audience, and the audience became the opposing team. Wow. And because we didn't want to throw a volleyball into the audience so that it would hit them in the face, we had to choreograph every single hit by using stomping. So if someone was receiving, someone else would be hitting the floor with their foot, and anyone that would spike, someone else would clap as they were spiking, so that it sounded like a volleyball game without actually a ball flying. And so everyone would have to watch where the ball went, and eventually the audience would kind of like be following this imaginary ball the entire time. It was amazing. It was really cool.
That's ingenious. That's so creative. Yeah. Was that one of your most fun shows that you've choreographed, or do you have a specific favorite that you have choreographed?
Yes. I most recently choreographed this show, which I don't know if any of you or any of your followers know, but there's a movie and a show called Little Shop of Horrors. And it's like a big movie for people that love like horror films, but like kind of comedy horror films. It was a musical first. And it was in New York. It was off Broadway for a really long time. It came on Broadway. I was very, very lucky to be hired as the choreographer for the Off-Broadway revival. So last year in October, we opened up the show. It was open until the pandemic, which all Broadway shows and Off-Broadway shows are now shut down. But that was the most fun I've ever had because I love the music. I love the show. If you guys don't know about it, Little Shop of Horrors is like about this very, very sweet guy named Seymour who finds this weird looking like Venus flytrap who eats people. Sounds like an anime. And he basically goes through life trying to become famous using this plant and it basically eats everybody. And it's really exciting and fun. And some big Broadway names were in the show as well. Like Jonathan Groff, who, if anyone knows him, he is the voice of Kristoff in Frozen and Frozen 2. He was on Glee. I don't remember what his name was on Glee. He's the main guy on Mindhunters. He was King George in Hamilton. Like, he's my new like best friend. I actually have an audio from him. I think we're going to FaceTime together because he's currently in Berlin filming for the Matrix movie. Like, what the hell is my life? Yeah. So there was some amazing, hey, Kelsey. There was some amazing people in that show. So that was by far my favorite show to work on.
Oh my, that's insane. How did you even get started on working as a choreographer for Broadway?
So I was like a professional dancer for most of my life. I was on So You Think You Can Dance. And then after that, I kind of worked on television. I was like on a TV show called Smash. I did a few episodes here and there on like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, The Blacklist. I danced on Ellen and the Academy Awards. I danced background dancing for Janet Jackson for a little bit. And then I realized, like, as much as I loved performing and dancing in person, choreographing is actually where my heart was. Like, I loved actually being behind the scenes. Like, I loved being in front of the camera, as you know, as you can tell, but I loved creating the material and then watching others do it. And so I slowly made the transition from being a dancer to a choreographer. And I was very lucky because there was a lot of people in my life that were currently on Broadway. So I was able to make connections with a lot of choreographers that were looking for dancers. Like, hey, can you come into my studio and help me out with a few things? I'm trying to create a, show for this material for this little show called Hamilton, right? So I met Andy Blankenbuehler, who is this Broadway choreographer that did Bring It On, In the Heights, Hamilton. And then he brought me on for Cats revival. And then ever since then, I've done 4 Broadway shows. I was the assistant choreographer for Cats revival on Broadway and Falsetto's revival on Broadway. And then I was the associate choreographer, which is the level up, for Head Over Heels on Broadway and King Kong on Broadway, which, like, King Kong on Broadway, there was like a 2,000-pound gorilla that was like puppeteered by 14 people on stage and then like 36 dancers around him. It was insane. And then Little Shop is like my first show that I'm doing on my own as like the head choreographer. So it took a while, but we're here now.
Whoa. That is
Sorry,
like
that was just like
no, like that's just so I have a lot of questions about that and So You Could Think You Could, well, let's start with So You Could Think You Could Dance, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about being on So You Could Think You Could Dance? How was that experience for you overall?
What I will say is this. I have a lot to say about So You Think You Could Dance. It changed my life and it changed my career. I think the show, when it first started, was so helpful for dancers because one of the stigmas about dancers is that we are the background. We are not as important. Like, you will never know our names. We are the background artist to the singer, right? If Janet Jackson's performing, there's like 20 of us in the back, but you'll never know our names. So You Think You Can Dance was the first show to really be like, no, the dancers are the stars. Like, you're going to learn these people's names. And there's many people on the show that are like, have big notoriety now because of that show. And I know that it helped my career. I will say I'm very happy I did it when I was young because I was very naive. And the schedule that they put you on is the same schedule that they put the people on from American Idol. And nothing against singers, but the time it takes for your physical body to recover is very different than your vocal, like, your vocals to recover.
Mm-hmm.
So they would be rehearsing us for 12 hours a day with no break, no food. Like I had done a video about it, but I had like torn my shoulder on stage, and they took me to the doctor and basically like lied to me and was like, oh, well, let's just give her a cortisone shot and then she can perform on TV the next day. And then I found out I had to have surgery because the damage that was done, because I couldn't feel my shoulder anymore. So I was like, oh yeah, it feels fine. And so I went and did this whole show, completely tore between my collarbone and my shoulder bone. So, but I was so like, but I just want to be on TV. It's going to be great. It's going to be fine. So I'm happy I did it. I'm happy I was young, because I think if I went on it when I am like this age now, I'd be like, no, I'm not, you cannot treat us like that. I need to have food. I need to have a 5-minute break. I feel like I would have just been a little bit more demanding, which would have gotten me eliminated sooner. So I got third runner-up on my season. So I got pretty far. I'm very grateful for it. But I'm happy I was young when I did it.
So,
yes.
First of all, that's absolutely nuts, you know, and I've been in your lives in and out, and I know you've touched on it, so I'm so happy I just got the chance to really find out. You've done so many incredible things, and I really want to know, like, how did you get started on anime TikTok?
Yeah, yes, very, very interesting turn of events, sir. So it all began. I had started a TikTok. I remember like a few of my So You Think You Could Dance friends having TikToks. And I remember being like, I don't understand that. Like, I don't get it. Like, whatever. And I had a TikTok, but I never made content on it. I just watched funny things. One of my favorite people on YouTube is Jenna Marbles and Julian Solomita. They are just like hilarious. But she was like reviewing TikToks she found. And I was like, maybe I'll get a TikTok and just see what it's like. I loved watching the content, but I never made it. I like had made a few just like random videos because I was just bored one day. And then on March 12th, when the world fell, for me, it was like, I went into rehearsal for Little Shop. We were putting in Jeremy Jordan, who is this like big time actor. We were putting him into the show. And then they literally came in and was like, everyone needs to stop rehearsal. Everyone needs to go home. They're shutting Broadway down. Like, it's getting serious. Everyone go home. It was the middle of our rehearsals. I went home and I like just sat at home and I was like, okay, well then what am I supposed to do? And in the coming weeks, I just kept getting more and more things of like future projects that I was supposed to be working on getting canceled, future projects getting postponed till next year. And so like, as I'm getting all these emails, I'm going like, I don't have anything to do. So what did I do? I started watching anime. So I was watching anime to like kind of make myself feel better, because every time I watch anime, it makes me happy. I had been watching anime before, but it just now became like a full-time job, just like on Crunchyroll, just like figuring out new shows I wanted to watch. And I watched a video on TikTok about how amazing the Demon Slayer opening is. The opening OP. Yeah. And I made a video like dancing to it because I also agreed. I was like, this OP hit different. So I made a video about it and it did okay. And I was like, you know what? I think it would be fun to make more of these. So then I made a video about, it was right when COVID was really big, and there was this like audio going around about what was it, like something about like, I haven't heard from this person in a long time since COVID started, like what's going on. And I made it about Recovery Girl from My Hero Academia. And I was like, I haven't heard from Recovery Girl since all of this started. Where you be, girl? That blew up. And I was like, I think there's a world where I can continue to make these because they make me happy. It gives me a purpose and I enjoy making them. And then as it started growing, I started enjoying the interactions with not only the people that were following me, but folks like you and folks like Morley Gray, who would like also interact, that were content creators, to inspire me to do more. But the long and the short of it is, I did it because of unemployment. That's really why.
The real reason, unemployment is. Well, look, I am so happy you're part of the anime community, seriously. I've said it in the video before, but you're such, not only an incredible creator, but you're a real inspiration. I love your content and the dances you've made, especially Madam
Movement.
Movement.
Yeah.
And I always wondered, how did you come up with Madam Movement?
So I have I feel like everyone has their own like little niche on TikTok, right? And it's like you have like a large division, and then you have like kind of little subdivisions depending on what kind of content you create. So like if you just look at my page generally, it's like anime content, but then underneath it's like dance, like anime dances, like anime fashion, like anime economy, skits, right? Yeah. So I had made a video because I had seen, it was Morley Gray. I saw Sydney make this like video about like outfits inspired by animes. And I was like, that seems like fun. So I did this like little video where I dressed up in outfits inspired by, and I did like Oron High School Host Club. I did Banana Fish. I did Promise Neverland. I did Tokyo Ghoul. And then one of the costumes or outfits I made was for My Hero Academia. And I didn't want to like cosplay as anybody because all the outfits were just kind of like general outfits, right? And so I was like, I'm not going to cosplay anybody, but I was like, well, what if I had a hero costume in the world? What would it look like? So I started like looking at all the costumes. I was like, okay, so typically they're kind of like they're kind of a lot most of the time, the hero costumes. So I was like, well, I love red, so like why don't I just make my whole outfit red and like put on this like sick belt that I thrifted, and I'll just put on the joke is that I wanted to have 2 gloves, but I couldn't find one of them when I was making the video. So I was like, I guess 1 glove is fine. I was like, oh, she'll just have 1 glove. So I made the outfit first, which is like completely backwards. But I made it for this like very random anime style video where I was like, My Hero Academia, like hero costume. And so many people in the comments were like, who is this character? Like, who is she? And I was like, I don't know. I put this outfit together. So many people were like, why does she have 1 glove? I'm like, don't come for me. I couldn't find the other glove. Wait a minute. And so because so many people were like, who is this character? I would love to know who your OC is. I was like, I've never made an OC before. I don't know how to do that. So I started thinking like, well, what would her quirk be? And like, blah, blah, blah. And so I just started asking myself questions about this person that didn't exist. And I came up with Madam Movement because I was like, I knew I wanted her quirk to have something to do with dance so that I could like somehow blend that with my comedy skits and have Madam Movement be able to manipulate people in the world. And I thought that would be a fun way to like continue the content. So Madam Movement, just like it rolls off the tongue, man. Madam Movement, like it sounds like a real character. Like people have said that they would love to see this character in the show for real, and I'm like, that would be goodbye, everybody. That is the end for me. That would be amazing. But yes, so that's kind of the birth of Madame Movement. Wow. Hey, Phantom. Also, sorry.
Yes, oh my God, Phantom. Your content, your character is made such a huge impact on the anime community. I've seen like Wagyu Senpai.
Yes.
Yeah, like I saw your duet together where you were controlling. I was like, oh my God, I just love it so much.
Yes.
You touched so many people on the app, and I wanted to know when your first viral video happened, what was your reaction to that?
Okay, so I had like done because I had a lot of time on my hands because I am unemployed. I was like going online. I was like, so how do you get followers? And most of the information you can get online is just like be consistent. Like that's it. Like it's just being honest and being consistent, right? A lot of people say like see kind of like trending what's happening, like stay with the music, stay with the audio, but generally just stay consistent. And so for me, just being able to like keep a routine, do some research, film a few things, post them throughout the day. So when I started seeing like videos starting to get picked up, or both like doing a trend or a challenge that I did, like actually like, what's happening? And one of my videos blew up at like a few months ago when I was really first starting all of this. And I was like, this many people are watching me, which, mind you, is hilarious, because like I remember when the same thing happened on So You Think, because there was a night where like 1.7 million people watched one of the like live episodes, and I remember being like, that's a lot of people. But it's funny because we interact as on a screen, you never actually see that many people. This number that just floats around, you're like, oh, that's a number, cool. But you don't necessarily have like, 400,000 people in a room being like, we like this video. So because of that, there's an emotional like, wow, that's cool. But there's also a very like, okay, let's keep making it, like let's keep making content, So it was amazing, and like the love that I've gotten on TikTok has been unbelievable, because I want to keep my content honest to me, and so I always make content that makes me happy and makes me smile, because if it doesn't do well or if it flops, I go, but at least it made me happy, right? And then you keep it honest and genuine, and your followers will also feel that way, hopefully, because they're invested in you as so answer, but hopefully that
It was so good, and you do get a lot of love and crazy nonsense, and I just wanted to ask, what are some comments that just make you shake your head?
Okay, so we got a lot. You girls got a lot to say about this. The main thing, I think, in terms of like comments that are just like anime and basically anything that viewership, there's going to be shows that you like that I don't like, or vice versa. And so when I see comments like either someone bashing a show or saying like, how could you think that? That's the worst show I've ever seen, or anything where they're bashing your opinion, I'm always like, but it's an opinion, right? Like, I'm not telling you to feel the same way. I don't like comments like that. I don't like comments that have spoilers in them, because I know, and I always like, I'm pretty good about making sure that I keep things spoiler free. And if there is a spoiler, I will try to like put it somewhere in the video, because I know so many people like will not watch a show for many months after puts a spoiler in the comment. I'm like, people in this comment section don't know by doing that. I also get a lot of comments that are like, step on me. I've never in my many years on this earth got comments like that, and I don't know what to do. Then leave. Peace out. Like, that's really what it is. It's
amazing.
It's like the eye emoji, eye emoji that's like looking that way. It's like, okay, did I just read that? Like, how old are you? I'm sorry. Like, this idea of like simping has always been, I guess, because I've always like been in love with anime characters. So it's weird, interesting, weird cross section of like cosplay, anime, simping for a character, but then they're cosplaying, and so now I'm simping for you, but it's not you because you're being someone else. That whole world is very new to me. So,
and that brings me to my next question. What anime character have you simped for?
All.
All of them across the board.
So, okay. So, we are on tricky territory here, buddy. But just so you know, I am an equal opportunist. Oh my God, equal opportunity simp person. I don't care if you are a human, a male, a female, like a spirit. I will, if my heart wants what it wants, okay? So like my big person currently, and I always say currently because it's always kind of like shifting and changing. Roy Mustang. Whew! My God. Oh my God. That man can. I made a video like a long time of him at the club being like, snap your fingers, dude, and like everything being on fire. Love him. Mirko from My Hero Academia, Bunny Girl, Bunny Hero. Just clap it out for her, everybody. Beautiful. But like, Aaron from Attack on Titan. In his Titan form, though.
Really?
Just like 4,000 feet high, just like ripped, just kicking stuff like that. I'm telling you, it matter if you're a spirit, if you're a Titan, if you're a woman, I will simp. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming to my simp TED Talk.
I love the honesty. No judgment. This is a judgment-free zone. Definitely incredible. I'm going to ask one more question, and then I have so many, but it's a time constraint, unfortunately. But I'm going to ask one more question, then I'm going to open it to Q&A.
Please.
So, what is your favorite side character?
Favorite side character. Okay, there was a lot. I'm going to name two, but it's really one, but it's two. But my main favorite, hands down, favorite side character is Rock Lee. Rock Lee.
Great.
Rock Lee. Because Rock Lee, first of all, bushy brows, is just overall someone I connect with because his drive of literally never giving up, like a lot of anime characters are like, never give up. This kid is really out here like breaking all of his bones. He's like, you know what? I still want to be a shinobi. And I know you're a shinobi. And you're like, yes, Rock Lee, you're going to do that. I don't know how you're going to do that, but like, I believe you're going to do that. So I love him for that. And I also love him because he is mostly based off of his like physical jutsu, that he seems the most like what you and I could potentially be as ninjas. Like, I can't do genjutsu. Like, I can't do ninjutsu. Like, I never gonna get you to try to think about nothing. But I could kick you really hard, probably, right? I can open my 8th gate and maybe kick you and spiral down. So he seems like the character that most normal people without like crazy, insane, like chakra abilities, he's like the most like us. So Rock Lee for me he's my boy. And then Genos from One Punch Man.
One Punch Man. Very nice. I'm just going to squeeze in one last question. One last question. Has there been an anime that has that you were in a very dark time in your life and it helped you out of that dark time or helped you through that dark time?
Let's see. Okay, so dark, but not like super dark. It helps me out of a dark time, not in necessarily like a magical, like everything is better type of way, but it made me laugh so hard that like it actually brought me out of a dark time. And I'm going to recommend it to you, and I'm going to recommend it to all these people down here. It's called Gakuen Babysitters or School Babysitters. It is on Crunchyroll. It is the cutest. And I'm like, there's no, the plot, who is she? But every episode is about these brothers, an older brother and a younger brother, who lose their parents and they basically get adopted and become the babysitters of this school. And every episode is just about these babies. and him babysitting these babies, and it's just like the sweetest, most wholesome, like, I cried almost every episode, not because it was like super, super dramatic, but like there was just real emotions of him realizing like he would pick up his phone to call his mom because something like exciting and fun happened, and not having her, but also having the like love for his little brother. But just overall, it is one of the sweetest, funniest shows. And it's, again, only 12 episodes. It's only one season. So it's called School Babysitters, or the Japanese is Gakken Babysitters. I kid you not, if I'm ever sad, I put on one episode. And because there's no like necessarily through line plot, you can put on any episode. It's kind of like it reminds me of like a Bob's Burgers or something, where it's like, I don't need to watch like a full season. Put on one episode, and it's like the episode is like self-encapsulated, so you can just watch one and be like, I'm good now, I'm happy, and I can go about my day. That's the show that for me brought me out of dark times, because I watched it right when all of the world decided to crumble in on itself, and it made me smile and laugh, which I think we all need to do a lot more of.
That's beautiful. Again, thank you for answering all of these questions.
Yes, thanks.
And now here is the Q&A portion. So guys, any questions that you guys have, yes, please ask away.
I did see a question earlier that I would like to address. Someone had asked, how did Madam Mayhem start? So if anyone knows my OC, Madam Movement, you know that she kind of has an alter ego named Madam Mayhem. She started because I originally was going to make Madam Movement a villain. But then I was like, I think she actually would be more of a teacher, because she can interact with the students and the teachers of UA more if she was a teacher. But I also had this like secret, like, I want her to be a villain. So that's how Madam Mayhem started, for people that were asking.
Wow.
Let's see.
How did you and Maker and Morally Gray is My Favorite Color start the UA staff series?
It kind of was an accident, I guess. I had just mentioned Mayhem. Whose teacher name is Hina Sensei. She's the art teacher in this like AU like OC world. She had this whole plot where like the villains attacked her and the students. And I was like, I think it would be funny if my evil character did that. So I duetted her video as Madam Mayhem attacking the students. And then it began this like whole thing of like, well, why did she do that? Because then now Hina Sensei can't have kids. And then Cece, the UA counselor, had to come in and like talk about it so we all kind of started like blending our stories a little bit more together. I don't know if it was necessarily that moment where I duetted the Hina's video, but yeah, we definitely all talk about future plot points. And it definitely feels like we are like a secret spin-off series.
Wow, very nice. Who's your favorite edgelord in anime?
Edgelord? Someone...
Edgelord. Yeah, edgelord. Favorite edgelord.
Someone needs to... do I need to look this up? Am I thinking of something that's nasty and it's not?
I think edgelord is in just
Okay, yes. I don't know if like an anime character or an anime TikToker.
And let's go with anime.
In anime. Yeah.
Dark and brooding person.
Oh. Okay. Well, so my brain goes to like Light Yagami, but then he's not that in real life. Like he is that, but he has a persona that's not that. So that's why I kind of think that that's him, because he's so like, I'm a school council president and I'm great, but I'm also going to go in the side and eat potato chips and kill everybody, right? So maybe that, I guess.
Okay. I know it's kind of a spoiler for Madam Mayhem, but what happened that made Mayhem trigger, like the event that made her trigger at first?
Yes. So I made a video duetting the Morley Gray and My Maker because one of the character aspects of Mayhem is that she's a personality of Madame Movement who basically keeps pushing people away. She's like a personification of the idea that people self-sabotage and push people away that get too close, because I don't know if anyone has had this experience, but like you're in a relationship and you like have to do bad things so that the other person breaks up with you. It's like you are purposefully like hurting yourself by pushing people away. So the video is Hina Sensei is basically saying like, well, if Facum and I get married, I would love for you two to be at the wedding. And so the trigger is that Mayhem is like, no, you can't be that close to her because she will leave you and hurt you eventually. So that was the trigger that happened.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm kind of new to Instagram. So here's one. What's your favorite piece of anime merch?
Okay, well, this shirt, hello, like I already showed it if you didn't see. I love getting anime merch actually from thrift stores. Pre-pandemic, I loved getting secondhand clothing just because I didn't, A, want to spend that much money, but B, and it felt like an accomplishment when you found something. So I have a lot of anime merch from thrift stores. So this Sailor Moon shirt's super dope because it has like acid wash, like bleached things. But I have some really cool pieces from Atsuko, which is an anime brand online. And also Hot Topic has like surprisingly a lot of anime merch, and Etsy. So I have some, and GameStop, by the way. I like went to GameStop to buy like a Nintendo Switch, and they were like, here's some amazing like Demon Slayer t-shirts. And I was like, I guess Tanjiro and I have to hang out because as you can see, I stan. So, but yeah, this t-shirt I think is one of my favorites because it's one of my first purchases that I got, and I got it from like Goodwill.
And we have time for literally one more. What is your favorite anime genre to watch?
I love, my favorite anime recently is Mob Psycho 100. I don't know what I would call that as a genre because it's like psychological slice of life action comedy. It's all of those things make me very happy. So like all of those genres combined into one. Mob Psycho 100 is amazing. But I also love just like beautiful storytelling genres that are like a little bit more closer to slice of life. I love Your Lie in April. I loved the Silent Voice movie as well. So I love that kind of genre of anime. But then like give me some crazy like monsters eating monsters like Parasite I love, you know. So I mean, I love a little bit of everything. So
oh my god, and I can't thank you enough for answering all of these questions and agreeing to do this interview. I had a blast talking to you. Absolutely phenomenal. I hope you had fun too.
I had an amazing time, Travis, and you are honestly, I know everyone probably says this, but like you are honestly one of the creators that has like helped me stay consistent and stay honest, because I think that you and your fan base are truly one of the like higher quality class acts of anime TikTok, and you are such a genuine, loving, kind, honest person that like although we are literally on a screen together, like I feel like you are a friend that I could like come to just be like, hey, I have a question, and you would be genuine with me. So I just want to thank you and all of your amazing followers that are coming into the comments and stuff. So thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it.
Oh my, that was amazing. Oh, you're awesome. You're so awesome. Thank you. Oh my God. And guys, thank you so much. Have a great night, Eleanor. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye, y'all.